I should probably, because you started a little bit later. I hit my vape before I got set up. I should like hit my vape after I've gotten setting up, because like getting Blaze and then setting everything up is not a good way around of doing it.
Right.
Oh shit.
True.
That's some funny shit.
True.
Once I've gotten set up, it ain't too big a deal. I can handle doing it.
Wait, talk again.
Talking again.
Okay, I need to change this somehow. It's fucked up.
Test. What's going on?
There we go. Yeah, just no. Your voice wasn't coming through on my audio mixer, so I got it now.
Goody. I'm linking out streams now. It's not too hard. It's just like taking me like a little bit extra time. I've got like a few second delay on like checking if I'm like on like the right channel or something. Why does it change? It does that. Like it just randomly changes from like the streams channel to like the welcome channel for no reason at all on some servers.
Weird.
I don't know if it's because they're like changing. I wonder if it's because if they edit something about the channel, somehow it like resets it in the cloud. I have no idea. I have no idea what happens, but sometimes it like randomly changes the channel that you had it on last. Maybe I'm done with that. All right.
Good to go.
Yeah. Oh,
Do
that's
audio
it.
check.
Yeah.
Audacity.
Test. 1, 2, 3. Sonic Storm. Test. 1, 2, 3. Sonic Storm. Yeah. Okay. Say when.
All right, hit it. And just like that, we are back for the finals. KCM Season 5 2024. Terran versus Zerg. Let's go. The lineup could not be better. Royal Speed, Sock Light, Saxory, Queen, Action, Soul Key, and look who's hungry for the win here today. It's Soul Key coming out first.
Ooh.
And with 3.8 million won on the prize, on the all kill prize, I mean, you can't blame him.
I mean, he's called Need Money for a reason, right, Sam? I mean, this guy really does care about the money, and he's got the skill to back it up, so he's usually around to claim that prize. I'm hoping that's what keeps him motivated. He's got these like 3 titles in a row under his belt now. Maybe the money will keep him coming back for more each time and stay at a high caliber of play, but he has been slipping up in these last few weeks, right? Like he hasn't really been showing up, so this is his time to redeem himself. He's had a little bit of a rough like triple week showing recently.
That's true. If you guys don't know the lore behind Soul Key, his Need Money account, he was scammed in some way. We don't have the clear details, but he says that he got scammed. He lost a lot of his money, and so he's looking for any way to earn that money back. And this is a perfect opportunity. We don't talk about it very often, but if whichever team wins this finals is going to get 4 million won, so potential to earn a total of 4.8 million won. If you win the week and you get the all kill prize, that is a fat paycheck for just one day's work. We've got the hatchery first coming down for Seolki, and a 1-Rax fast expand is going to start for Royal. Both players opening super casual, super standard. As we get into this first game, I'm going to be looking for Seolki's first scout when it gets to that front, and what is he going to do to try to pull Royal apart.
Hello?
Okay. Oh, there you are.
We need to restart. There's something weird going on with the audio.
With my audio?
No, with me. It's not even letting me talk to you when I'm tabbed into the other screen.
Oh, really?
I'm talking and it's not even working. My mic. I know I changed my push to talk settings on OBS yesterday, and I just tried to change it back now, and now, like, I started the stream, started the thing without what do you call it? Push to talk on my OBS, and then during the start of the cast, I put my push to talk back on so that it wouldn't have any background noise on the recording. But then you couldn't hear me at all. So I don't know what's I don't know if it's you can't hear me when I'm tapped into your stream.
That's weird.
What the fuck?
That shouldn't be.
Dude. That's okay. It's something to do with a conflict of push to talk with Discord, maybe. I'm gonna try restarting Discord.
Okay.
It might be because OBS is in admin mode and Discord isn't, or vice versa, or something like that. I don't know. Well, there was a Discord update. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was the problem. Can you hear me now? Oh,
yeah.
I think it was just the fact that Discord wasn't updated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was literally it.
Okay. Do you want to start your Audacity over again?
Yeah. Say when.
Okay, start it.
반짝이네 역시 안정감이 없네 막 이런 얘기들 다 오거든요. 네, 그렇죠. 그러니까 이재호처럼 진짜 냉정한 냉혈한 같은 모습이 없다. 이런 얘기 나올 수 있거든요.
반대로 말하면 또 꾸준함이기도 하고요.
아, 그렇죠.
네, 김주성 선수가 좀 젊은 피로서 스타판에서 약간 내노라는 어떤 상위권 테란 중에 제일 젊거든요.
예.
보여줄 때가 됐죠 또.
자, 제가 방금 김민철이 잘려도 저그 팀의 큰 비상, 김지성이 잘려도 큰 비상이 있다고 얘기를 했는데 두 팀의 역시 마찬가지예요. 자, 준비 끝났다. 콜 들어왔습니다. 결승전입니다. 1경기 시작하겠습니다.
And just like that, we are back now with the finals. Zerg versus Terran. And it's going to start off with a bang. Seolki versus Royal. Can feel he's hungry for that all-kill prize. It's now up to 3.8 million won. Seolki, Mr. Needs Money, could be scoring a huge bag today.
Yeah, he definitely wants to get that chunk of change. I'm hoping that's what keeps him motivated in playing and coming back from war. He's got 3 titles back-to-back, but now he's also got a 3-loss streak in these previous weeks back-to-back as well. So he's definitely got some redemption to do for himself here. So it's not just the money he's looking for, probably to reestablish his dominance, because he has been slipping just a little bit.
That's for sure. He's had some surprising losses especially against Terran players. It was speed that got hit under his skin, or got through his defenses with a 2-Rax play just a couple weeks ago, and he's been faltering a little bit here and there, but we still have faith that this guy is at the absolute pinnacle of play, that Sulky can bring something special here to the KCM, and this is a perfect opportunity to show us what he's got. Royal cross map on Radeon. There's not a very high chance of any sort of early victory for Royal in this game.
Yeah, and Royal honestly had a really shockingly bad performance in that semi-finals game. It was against Tyson, game number 1. Just absolutely fell flat on his face there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we should mention that the reason we've got 2 KCM releases this week is because that semifinals was delayed by quite a bit, and this one is just on time, so we haven't skipped anything. We're not jumping ahead in time. This is just catching up now, and we are back on schedule. Sulky opening with a hatchery first, Royal with a 1-Rax fast expand. Standard as standard can be in this matchup recently.
Yeah, and it's Radeon with this big cross map. There's going to probably not be too many shenanigans in the early game from either player. It's much harder to come out and do some marine pressure, naked marine pressure in the very early game. It can still be done, but it's much more risky coming this far out onto the map. You kind of risk losing your marines to the Lynx before they can get back to the safety of the wall. So we probably won't see anything too crazy this game, I don't think. I'm wondering how aggressive Sulky wants to play against someone like Royal. Royal himself will probably want to be redeeming how poorly he played last week. Like, it wasn't like it was a bad game. It was like one of the worst games we've seen in a long time from a player of his caliber. So both players definitely trying to make themselves look as good as possible here.
We even had people in the comments accusing him of inting or throwing the game. That's probably not the case. Can't say for sure, but that was a dismal performance, and I'm sure that he was embarrassed about it, and now he's looking for a bit of redemption. What better way to redeem yourself than to beat Sulky game number 1 here in this series?
Yeah, and guys, don't throw away those accusations. I think you said in the comments as a reply to that, like, don't throw away those accusations so lightly. Like, once upon a time, there was a huge scandal in the Kesper days, and lots of players got banned. I think even one player was allegedly put in prison for a short time as well. Yeah, this is very serious to throw around those kinds of accusations. They take it extremely seriously, so it's definitely probably not that, but yeah, something weird happened. That Royal played extremely poorly yesterday, that we casted. Hopefully we can redeem him as well. I would like to see a good game from him against Sulky, but I don't know, Sulky, even though he's not playing his best, he's one of the absolute killers out there. Like, once upon a time, we were talking about how much this guy just doesn't make any mistakes, and even when he's playing from behind, he seems unbeatable.
Well, Sulky, with this SCV in his main base, to be completely scouted. Wait, okay. I'm like, what the heck are these SCVs doing? But they're just heading over towards that natural. A lot of Marines heading over to this front. 6 Marines going to make their way up here. He canceled the Sunken Colony, and Royal saw all drones being popped in the natural. Yeah, this is getting kind of scary. I'm afraid for Sulky here. He has no idea that these are coming, and now they're going to get behind the mineral patches? What?
Wow.
How does this happen?
This is really not ideal. He's got the drones on top of the Marines, but it doesn't really matter. He's still going to get 1 or 2 drones, as well as pretty good denial of mining time here. It's not the worst case scenario for Sulky. He actually handled that a little bit better than I thought he would, with the additional links coming out. But that was not ideal for him. He did lose a couple of drones. Inversely, Royal has lost quite a lot of his infantry, so needs to quickly pump out on these 2 barracks and make sure he can't lose anything to a counterattack. Make sure he plugs up this tight little hole here in the wall. This wall is actually kind of strong for that reason, because there's only 1 little hole to worry about. So Sulky shouldn't be able to get in and do much, but he wants to try and punish this and kill as many Marines as possible, and then put him on a clock with the mutas later on.
Sulky built a lot of panic-lings during that attack. He held it, like you said, better than expected, stopping those Marines from fully getting behind the mineral patches and getting quite a bit of damage with the drones. A lesser Zerg would have easily died to that. 6 Marines walking in at that kind of awkward time. We only got 4 Lings out. Just things can fall apart so quickly.
Oh no.
What is this drone
That's
doing?
idle. It's idle. He doesn't even see it.
grinding.
Yeah, the way he's got his hotkey set up is that you actually can't see the hex grid tile beneath the extractor. When he double clicks his hatchery key, he won't be able to see that drone. He has to actually look down manually to see that drone. Unless he looks at the mini map, he won't notice that drone at all.
Oh, that's so painful. Sulky needs every drone right now. It's just what I was saying earlier, that he built a whole bunch of paniclings after killing all the Marines. You'd much rather pop a bunch of drones and then get ready for this Mutila's transition, but he has 10 lings out here that really aren't going to be able to do anything. He does have 3 hatcheries, though, and so he can start to re-drone. It's just so painful to see this drone sitting behind the extractor here and just doing absolutely nothing this game. Solkey already off to a really rough start.
Yeah, if you look at the minimap, you can see the box doesn't quite eclipse the drone as well on the southern threshold of that extractor. So unfortunately, he won't be able to identify that until he manually moves and sees that with like his dragging his mouse around defending a drop or something later on. So that drone could be there all game long potentially. Solkey does have a pretty healthy production with the 2.5 hatch though, so it's not like he's out of the game, but doesn't quite have the potency in this mutaling cleanup that he would like to usually. He's quite a strong bioball to face, and with only 7 mutas, he's maybe going to struggle to get a nice clean kill on this.
I didn't get a view of the main base there. Did Royal opt for a really quick eBay or not? I think he went for
4x.
The rush. Yeah, rush into Academy, was it? Or is it straight into +1?
No, I think it was 2x Academy into 4x.
He's going to be able to put on so much pressure with that 4 racks. Even though he lost a ton of Marines there at the beginning, lost 6 Marines. He's just going to be able to pump out so many units. And Solkey is struggling now to get this 3rd base online. We've already got the transition coming. Royal is he's looking poised, man, to redeem himself. It's just, how can you beat Solkey in this late game? He's so strong.
Yeah, this is the point where Solkey is... The later the game gets, the better for him. The mid to late game is where he really shines. Once he weathers the storm and the Terran can't find any timings against him, he just comes online and destroys you. He's trying to navigate around and circumnavigate this Bioforce, get into the production line, maybe take out some of these turrets, or at least pressured the idea that he's going to do that. He needs to keep Royal back just by making him think that he might dive into his main base. He might keep him back. And the Ling coming in now, trying to get us around, wrapping his arm around the left-hand side of these Marines. Pretty good surround, but the target firing from Royal was also pretty adept, and he manually gunned down those mutas before the Lings could get into position, so pretty well done from Royal. Now Solkey's in a little bit of trouble, desperate to get something done with some additional Lings.
It was just a little bit off time there. Solkey bringing the left flank of Lings in after the right flank had already been destroyed, and such good targeting from Royal, gunning down a massive Mutilis. And this is a situation that most Zerg players have been in, where you're kind of stuck continuing to build mutas, but you need to make this transition so you can keep that 3rd base alive and deal with this upcoming transition into Valkyrie. It seems Royal's going to make Valkyries and push out in a really strong way. Solkey might be completely caught only making mutas and Lings so that he can hold on and make this transition a little bit later.
This is Battle Zerg mode right now, just pure muta Ling, so this is not ideal at all for Solkey. If these Valkyries come out, we'll put them on a clock, and a nice 10-minute push window for Royal to come across the map before any possible transition maybe can be executed. Royal might have a good window to kill Solkey here, but Solkey doing a pretty good job of shaving down a little bit of this Bioforce, trying to reduce his potency, setting up for another cleanup on R5 with those muta Ling, wants to try and get a cost-efficient trade, but the Valkyries now coming out will act as point defense for Solkey, though, pulling the trigger early just before the Valkyries come into relevancy, but now they're coming in and just shredding these mutas so quickly, saying, even though the Marines have all died, though, a little bit of the weird situation now, there's not much air left over, but there's also not much infantry left over for Royal.
Yeah, not a lot of infantry, and these Lings will be able to run by, get into that main base, start to kill some turrets, and make a bit of a mess here. Looks like he's actually back at home, probably transitioning. No, GG, what?
Yeah.
Solkey just taps out. He's just going to let it go. I thought he would definitely try to play that one out.
He's stuck on Battle Zerg. He hasn't got the transition. He hasn't got any hive on the way. He is just dead in the water if he can't get something done. He could try and play a wide game like you do against Mech, but against Bio and Tech, like we see there from Royal, there's not real much way of recovering in that game. Solkey is so shaky recently. I think I was maybe onto something with my previous analysis on what's going on with his mentality right now.
지워지잖아요. 저가 또 좋은 맵을 선택하는데 여기서 만약에 또 부러진다? 그러면 남아있는 맵
성대
다 올라
Unreal. What?
I I don't want to call it too early, but maybe I was right about what I was saying the previous weeks about what I thought about his state of mind after winning the triple title.
The hell, man?
He does not seem the same since. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's wild.
Tell me I'm wrong about that. As soon as he won that triple title, he's been slumping. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. He definitely seems to be slumping.
Yeah, man. It's not
You
good.
could kind of write it off. When it was, you know, getting 2 racks by speed or something like that, but
I
he
mean,
is kind of in shock right now. What the hell?
I called it, man. I called it. I said that he would slump after those triple title.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your head in the game, that's for sure.
Unless he's just not practicing nearly as much as he should, and in the sense of like he's playing like it's off season, like he doesn't want to try. He's like lost the motivation to train. He's gonna like wait till the next season starts up again, waiting for SSL, and then try hard. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like that. It seems like a normal slump, like he's just genuinely slumping after losing motivation from the triple title.
I wonder. All right, let's keep it going.
1경기가 홀랑. 그쵸. 거기다 좀 약간 어느 정도는
Consider yourself absolved, my son. Royal
상대가 김민철.
has definitely gained his retribution after taking out Soul Key. His Terran teammates will
선수거든요. 제가 저거였으면
go ahead and give him the nod
팀일 것 같아요. 왜냐면 이게
as he goes into this next game versus Action.
그러니까 상대
What the heck, man? This is just this is not where I expected this to go. I was thinking Soul Key all kill right
Yeah.
from the start.
I do really like Action though, so I'm hoping maybe someone like him instead can carry the torch. Maybe we'll see some crazy Zerg games as well. I don't know. This could also be really ideal to have someone like Action kind of subverting expectations and getting rid of the usual expectation of someone like Soulkey carrying the team.
어디 보자. 자원.
배럭 짓습니다. 배럭 지어요.
Yeah, that may be the case.
내가 생더블
Action has been putting out some good games recently,
한 거죠 이거는.
and Royal, he's been a little shaky as well. He's had some troubles here and there. Looked pretty powerful in that last game, but we can't forget that that was a naked Marine move out that got a lot of damage. It's just
전진
such a hard situation to come back from as a Zerg when you take that early, those early drone losses. It's
Yeah.
not something that we expected, right? Cross map Radeon. Why would you walk all the way across the map with your Marines? But that's probably the reason why it ended up working.
Well, it's so funny because Soulkey cancelled his Sunken, like assuming that he wouldn't do it, and it's like, well, Royal thought, well, because you think I won't do this, I'm gonna do it and it's gonna work because you so assume that I won't even try to do this and you'll just try and min-max your build.
자 김지영 선수는 오히려 역으로 좀 무난하게
It's
합니다.
it's funny. It's
빌드를 좀 선택했어요.
one of those things that we've talked about a lot with Soulkey is that he doesn't really mind being behind. He doesn't need to min max usually,
Yeah.
as long as he doesn't get too far behind. Like he can take a bit of a deficit and turn it into a win, no problem. But he wasn't willing to let that Sunken Colony finish, and that really bit him in the butt there.
No.
His normal style, if Soulkey was playing as he usually would, I don't think he would blink at letting that Sunken Colony finish, just to make sure that he could make it in the mid game without being kind of eviscerated like that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned for him. I mean, previous weeks I did talk about how maybe, like what happens to some athletes, once you get your gold medals in the Olympics, you kind of slump into a depression or at least a demotivated state because you don't have that same kind of drive. You're not waking up in the morning like, oh yeah, I'm going to go get this gold medal or triple gold medal, whatever it is. And you kind of lose your purpose and your way about you, and maybe that's what's happening to Solki right now. He isn't able to find his footing anymore because he hasn't got the same kind of drive and motivation. He doesn't want the money at least still, so hopefully he can find that as a good motivation to maybe put in some more practice and renew himself. But now look at this triple Marine move out from Royal. Needs to be careful. Link's already here. Has got this SCV to body block. You do kind of need this SCV to distract at least and make it harder for those Lings to pounce on top of those Marines, because if you get like 6 Lings out early, you can kind of just wreck these Marines' faces. So it's good that he's got the SCV to both body block and scout and check how many Lings are being made here.
Sneaky little play from Action to send this Ling around the bottom side, but balls of steel, honestly, this Zerg player. Just making the, 4 and 1 additional set of Lings. Banking on the fact that Royal wasn't going to move out with all of those Marines and that he was going to turn around. Now he's going to find the Marines coming across the map. He loses 1 for free right away. Link's speed is done, though. He can just make a bunch of Lings behind this and maybe go for a run by over in the natural. Let's see if he goes for that. Okay, he can't. SCVs are in the wall. Sunken Colony gets cancelled. He's going to pull all the drones and just overwhelm this with Lings.
Yeah, this is a great compensation play from Royal, using 2 SCVs to block. Guarantees Lings not getting in here. Has to kind of just run his drones. He knows there's not enough DPS in this bio ball to kill this hatchery, so he's just going to run and pay the price of not mining right now. Get a few additional Lings out and then get a good surface area and trade as best as possible 2 and 1 behind those lines. But it looks like he's actually thinking about a counterattack. I'm not so sure I agree with this play action. Like, you want to clean this up as quickly as possible and get back to mining, buddy. You're not going to get anything done with this counterattack. Maybe just send 1 to scout, but yeah, it's a little bit weird from Action.
Strange that Action wants to go across the map with that. He starts a 3rd hatchery. His spire is about to finish, but he's only got 400 gas, 200 minerals. He can't even make many Lings at all. He's going to go ahead and build a building, cancel it. Actually decides to start the extractor. He didn't need to build that and cancel if he was just going to build the extractor anyway, wasting a bit of money there. You can see Action starting to fall apart a little bit, making some questionable decisions.
Yeah.
In all honesty, this one Ling on the other, or this one Marine on the other side of the patches is so funny. You know, a lot of the Lings will actually go ahead and try to hit that. Okay, not if it walks forward. That doesn't really make sense, but it'll kind of draw aggro, and you need to get the Lings to all run behind the mineral patches if you want to clean this out. Dude, Royal is crushing with just basic Marine move outs. What is happening in this series?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think I like it though. I'm happy to see Royal kind of dominating, and also look how off Action is. The idle drones on the ramp. Now he's not even mining. Come on. What is going on in his brain? I have no idea. This is not the Action. What is happening to the Zerg squad right now, saying? This is not the players that we usually cast. Usually this is the kind of things that we don't see them. It can't be nerves. You can't tell me that it's nerves are the issue now. Like, there's no way. So something weird is going on in the minds of these players. Like, have they all just got brain rot from playing too much League of Legends?
I can't come up with a better solution. I have no idea what the hell is going on. That makes no sense. We got 4 drones completely not mining. What is this? What is this? What am I looking at?
I don't know.
We're microing 3 mutas. We're microing 3 mutas instead of getting 4 drones onto the mineral patches. It's insane. It's insane, Shun.
I don't know what's happening.
I mean, everybody must have. What the heck is what is going on?
What is going on? Are they glitching? Is there like an electromagnetic pulse that has been detonated over the continent of Korea, and all the cyborg like Starcraft players have suddenly started malfunctioning, and like the algorithms are glitching, and they can't quite fire their actual execution orders anymore?
Well, Royal must be sitting in a what's it called? A cage. To
cage.
Block EMP. Faraday cage, that's the one. Because he seems to still be playing at a high level. He's still, targeting mutas, and he's still microing Marines and hitting his build. He's not having a problem right now. It's the Zergs that are malfunctioning, and finally Action gets all of his drones back to mining, but he missed out on a crazy amount of income. Just having a couple of early drones not mining, like we saw in the previous game as well. I can't believe we're seeing it 2 games in a row. 2 extremely good professional Zerg players not mining with all of their drones, leaving drones idle. Obviously, Action leaving a lot more drones idle than Solkey, but still, any drones idle is massive in any matchup with Zerg.
I mean, the comments are going to have a field day with this one, saying it's really suboptimal for these two guys. I hope that Queen and Sanctuary are like going to boot up soon, because if they also don't pull their weight, we are going to have a very one-sided finals indeed. This is looking absolutely insane right now. Action is pretty slow with this transition as well. There's not really any compensation. He's just going to be flat out behind in most metrics. Maybe he can still make it work, but it's going to be difficult. He's kind of lined up to be able to play a game still, but I don't know. Royal's been showing quite some dominance recently now in these last two games. I'm starting to feel that maybe Action might start to fall apart here.
Well, Royal's going to come out and try to hit this timing right before the Lurkers are ready. There are Hydras out in the natural. There's only 2 sunken colonies, and here's that Valkyrie coming across the map, jumping on top of the reinforcements. He might be able to kill a lot of these Marines. There's the Valkyrie firing, but the Marine number's just going to run straight up into this natural. 1 sunken colony is all that's ready. Oh my gosh, he doesn't even have a second sunken colony done. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. 1 Valkyrie hitting these mutas as they try to defend. This game is over, Shun.
Over. Yeah, I was a little bit weirded out why he was targeting the lurker eggs, but probably just not even paying attention for a second. Really well played from Royal, using that 1 single Valkyrie to kind of allow the bottom contingency of Marines to stand and fight, while the rest just kept surging forward and made a break in the wall before the lurker eggs could finish, before the Sunkers could morph in. Really well played from Royal these last 2 games. He's made 2 top-tier Zergs look absolutely silly, saying.
다음 판에 또 비슷하게 하면은 저그는 어쩔 수 없이 저글링을 또 많이 이용을 했다고 여러 번 말씀드렸죠.
Keep going.
참알 수가 없습니다. 저도 예, 승리팀 예측.
Well, I don't think that Action and Solkey, well, I don't think that Royal made either Action or Solkey look silly. I think they made themselves look silly in those games, Shun. That was something else.
Well, maybe
really, I
don't know if it's the early pressure is getting to them. Like, usually they're cool cucumbers when crazy things happen in the early game. But this time, no. This time, both of them have fallen apart completely when things have gone wrong from the early Marine pressure from Royal.
Yeah. This is a tightrope that is nothing special. This is not something that Royal is, doing differently than all other Terran players. He's scouting with his SCV. He's checking how many lings are being made, and he's making his decision correctly when to push, how much pressure to put on, and he's decided to put on a lot of pressure this game. And he's going to go for an 8 racks in the front.
Yeah, and we probably have a 12 hatch from Queen, the way he's moving his lava around and stuff. So yeah, this is not looking ideal at all.
No, this could also end extremely quickly. Royal, the dark horse of this week, like the guy that we would least expect after his semifinals performance to claim an all-kill prize, is getting closer to that. Only has 2 more players to defeat to make that a reality. Queen has that 12 hatch down. He is going to send a drone scout out, thankfully.
Yeah.
Gonna have that drone scout on the map. I don't want to see Terran just absolutely dominate. I want to see some good games here, Shun. I was super excited for this finals going into it, man. This is gonna be absolutely crazy. It's supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean,
it was supposed to be epic.
He sees it. Okay, he sees it at least. This isn't too terrible. Like, he was 1 hex away from seeing it. Now he can at least cancel his gas and kind of optimize the defense a little bit here. So there's a little bit of life in this game for Queen now going forward. Maybe the Zerg squad can still redeem themselves. It's going to be a wild series either way, saying I'd be so shocked if we see a one-sided Terran victory. It could happen though. 2 drones coming off the line with an additional 4 for a total of 6. Can get around these 2 SCVs and get on top of these Marines, but with good body blocking, Royal can make this really frustrating for Queen, and also maybe get 1 or 2 drone snipes. Just needs 2 drone snipes to make things even. 3 would be an advantage.
He's starting the very far out bunker, but with the low HP SCV, one drone goes down. The SCV stays alive on the bunker. I'm surprised he didn't leave one drone to just go ahead and attack that. We've lost 2 drones so far. 3 drones have gone down. A 4th definitely going to fall.
5.
4 drones, 5 drones. My goodness, this is insane damage. And a 6th?
Yeah.
Is it actually going to happen? He's not pulling it back. What?
Crazy.
He doesn't pull that back. 6 drone kills is absolutely insane.
Yeah, he's got like 2 or 3 drones mining in his main base right the second. 3, I think. This is really, really low economy stuff from Queen. Maybe he can get some counter pressure with these lings. They already are a little bit across the map. Maybe he can get here just in the nick of time. The bunker's not quite finished. Maybe he can kill this Marine. He's running to the bridge to kind of defend this Marine. Can't quite get this round with those lings, though. He's getting on top of this Marine, trying to body block. Stop the lings getting on top of this precious Marine, but he does bite the dust. The other Marine, though, does manage to get into the bunker at least. But now the barracks will have to lift. So only one Marine will be available to Royal in this defense, so he can circumnavigate this bunker and go for an aggressive push here if he wants to. So he needs to body block with at least a few SCVs and be there to repair. So he's got 5 SCVs off the line for this. He needs to body block and repair this.
This is about as all in as it gets, guys. There's only 1 Marine in the bunker, but there's almost no drones back at home. He's targeting down SCVs as best he can, getting quite a few of these kills. That Marine, one singular one, just tickling away at these lings, and the SCVs are going down in vast numbers, now dropping below supply to where Queen is. This is, I think, enough damage here, Shun.
Yeah, this is enough. Now we can recover as the Zerg. We already have 2 hatcheries set up. We can build a lot of drones to cover this, and just killing this many SCVs is all you need to do. So putting this much pressure on kind of makes your win condition easier. The SCVs come off the line. You can stand and fight. Really great play from Queen to deny the second Marine getting into the bunker. Back then, there's obviously now a second Marine in that bunker, but only having 1 in there made it so much more cost efficient to pressure Royal into this kind of game state. Now he can recover. He can still try and force the issue and keep making lings and win this way, but he can also just transition and win in a normal macro game now if he needs to.
I think that might be the right call, but he's still got more lings coming to the front. Is he going to dive on this bunker? Oh my gosh, he sees Marines walking out. Thank goodness Royal saw those coming. Saw these lings coming. Nice building there. Gonna go ahead and surround this bunker. Is the bunker gonna go down? He gets some more SCVs on there. 3 SCVs are repairing. Can he keep it alive? It's so close!
He gets it!
He lives! No way, it lives!
I went down to like 13 HP. It was so low.
He pulled every SCV. There's 2 SCVs in the main.
This might be the only way he could have won this game. Although he's running out of his Marines. Now he needs to be careful not to lose too many of the Marines to the lings. This is an absolute wild game we're witnessing right now. He's losing all of his Marines.
Goodness. One bunker. One Marine in the bunker.
What is going on in this game, Sam?
I can't believe he moved out there. He thought he could do some counter damage, but it's not going to be possible. Oh, the Marine goes down. That was the 1 Marine.
Oh, this is absolutely
That was the only one.
Oh, this is crazy.
There's more lings coming. I
think he still might get it. This is absolutely crazy how he didn't break that bunker. What is happening? It's like
oh man.
It's like the algorithm's misfiring and like the game that was supposed to be played isn't able to.
Oh, GG. Wow. There it is. Royal taps out. What an absolutely insane game. I think that was a bit of a hubris there from Royal. Why didn't he build that bunker near to his mineral line instead of out in the front like that? And why did he continue to send Marines across the map in the rally point while the drones were going? He killed 6 drones. Why do we need to keep rallying Marines? It's crazy. Keep some Marines back at home. And he could have easily held that off, but he lost so many on the retreat.
Yeah.
He just didn't have anything. Didn't have the bunker done. I mean, you don't have to send the SCV out in order to build the bunker. If you build it in your mineral line, you just build it immediately back at home, and then you should have it up. No problem. That was, I mean, just such a torrent of mistakes on either side, but that's Broodwar for you, right, Shun?
Oh, absolutely, saying that is definitely Broodwar for you. I mean, I don't even know what to expect. We keep saying it every week at KCM that you don't know what you're going to get when you open up the box of KCM. It's a very interesting box. It's like a Willy Wonka box of chocolates. It's not the usual flavors.
근데 양 180만 차보로 나왔어요.
Hold on a sec. I'm gonna restart my OBS here. Something feels a little laggy when
Okay.
the transitions happen. I think it might be KCM's video, but I'm just gonna double check.
I'm gonna quickly be right back and grab another water. One sec.
Okay.
Hello, post. Hope you're enjoying the cast. I'm back, by the way.
All right.
여기서 오버풀을
Good to go.
Good to go.
여러분 그 종족
Oh, this is Queen versus Row right here.
그리고 이재호
No, it's gonna be Queen versus Light.
야 이재호 62%. 지금 여러분 저그 가운데 테란전이 가장 좋은 게 김민철이 승률이 5.
Well, it's been an absolute gong show so far.
근데 그 김민철
Not dissimilar to the semifinals. First couple of games were
차보로
pretty wacky.
김명호 선수가 최근에
Didn't really make sense, and some really just strange upsets happened. But now we're getting into Queen versus Light. This is an oldie but a goodie. We've seen a lot of Queen versus Light throughout the years.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious to see where these two stack up against each other now. Daddy Light has been on form recently. He kind of, carried the team, the torch for Terran to the finals. I wonder if Queen can bring it to him right now. Queen in the past used to be quite dominant, especially in Zerg versus Protoss. We had like about a year, maybe just over a year of dominance from him. But yeah, recently not so much. Recently, Queen has not been performing to the same standard, so not quite sure where these two would line up, but these two have played against each other so much that we should see a very good game because they know each other so well.
Yeah, there's a mental aspect there for sure. Going up against the player that you've had so much experience against, you know all the ways that they've played in tournament and otherwise. And so you have certain expectations on what they might do, and subverting those expectations can get you a quick win or even just a small advantage.
Yeah, yeah. And that kind of it's like a very high level, high stakes play of poker where both players have assessed each other's range of play, and now they're really starting to play because they already know enough about each other that they can start to really figure out how many steps ahead they want to play. How deep into the mind games do they want to go? Sometimes not at all, sometimes a little bit shallow, and sometimes really deep and complex to get one over each other.
We're not going to see Light open the same as Royal did with the 8 racks in the front. He's instead just going to opt for a nice safe wall in at his natural. It does have a gap, but he's going to be able to pump out some Marines and start to put on that pressure. We'll see if Queen underestimates this push, underestimates this pressure, or whether he really respects it properly. Getting a lot of damage on this drone. Oh my goodness. He's going to go through the SAV, but he's put on a lot of A lot of pressure onto this mineral line. He's forced 2 drones out of the natural into the main.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit of compensation there for Light walking across the map and not really sacrificing anything.
I think these are the kinds of plays that Terran make which really set apart like the greats from the average. Like if you can't get this kind of damage in safely, you don't like edge yourself out on the good Zergs enough to even like get into a good mid game push and actually win that timing window, because usually the game comes down to like a 5-8 second timing window the Terran can exploit in the mid game, and if you're not doing these early game shenanigans, you don't quite have the stars aligned to get to that window quick enough.
Yeah, those early game, like a butterfly effect, the early game slowdowns that are only, you know, quarter of a second or half second long, eventually blossom into large advantages, large slowdowns. Like just pushing away those drones for a couple of seconds might make the timing of lurkers pushed back even longer than those just few seconds. Now, SCV is going to get in here. He does see that speed is active, and I think he saw that drone heading out as well. So he's aware potential of a third base, but it's going to be taken in center left. That's not going to be expected by Light.
Yeah.
That is quite an interesting expansion to take. It is a high ground, but it's got 2 openings, and the base over at 12 o'clock would be, I think, much preferable. It's so much closer.
Yeah, this Tuvak's Academy might not get punished, though. He has got the bats plugging the gap right at the nick of time, so everything's lining up really nicely for Light. His timings have been really good this game. Everything is really crisp. Like, most players on the ladder cannot hit the timings the way he's hitting them right now. Stimming early as well to get right on top of these Sunkens. The Lings are coming in, hot pursuit, but they won't be there in time. There is also a Firebat to buffer against those. Pretty good surround from Queen, though. Might get enough surface area to catch most of these Marines. Takes the wind out of his sails, so he at least won't be able to push through here, but forcing Lings as well as Sunkens is at least a small win for Light.
That really shows the importance of the Lings and keeping them alive in the early game and keeping those out on the map and comboing them with the sunken colonies. Had those Lings not been available to dive onto that Bioforce as it was trying to break through,
Right.
Light could have targeted down that one sunken colony, and then he would have easily been able to power down the second sunken colony. With the Firebats coming up, Lings popping late wouldn't have been able to stop that, and we could have seen an easy win for Light. As it stands, though, he keeps both sunken colonies alive, only loses a small number of Lings, and he's managed to kill quite a bit of this Bioforce. He's ready to pressure, and Light still has no idea about this third already being done.
Now he needs to make sure his perimeter is well secured. He's got like a kind of zoning turrets rather than turrets on top of his production line. So if the Zerg can penetrate his defenses, he can easily get on top of the production without any turret coverage. So it's really important that he maintains advantage with his infantry on the ground. That's why we see so many turrets being placed in this zoning area, because he knows how weak it is if he tries to push out. So that Light knows there's a window where Queen can just come in here and wreck his day. That's why we see so many turrets going up around the perimeter right now. It's very important that he sets up these zoning turrets before he thinks about doing anything else.
Yeah, this is not the typical setup for a Terran base. Usually the turrets will be right up against those barracks. Oh, he's just barely not able to get this turret. Can he bounce some glaives? He does get the bounce and manages to pick off that turret. Now he's opened up the position to start to gun down these supply depots. Light really doesn't want to allow that to happen. He's even going to possibly replace that turret right in the crux of that double supply depot wall. Can he keep that alive? Goes in for the SCV, gets the kill, but he's lost a couple of meters so far. Just trying to get rid of this one turret and take dominance over this natural.
Yeah, another reason these zoning turrets are so important is he can't risk running down here to defend the turrets too much, because then it leaves his natural exposed to Zergling pressure as well. There's no bunker in the natural expansion. Look at this beautiful micro from Queen, shaving off the bio ball down to a nub right now. He's taking him to the barbers, and he's taking more than just a little bit off the top right now. Light in a little bit of trouble, maybe at danger of being snuffed out early here, as Queen looks like he's in pretty dominant fashion.
Wow, Light just didn't pay attention as he was moving out with those Marines, and so Quinn was able to get like 2-3 volleys before the Marines even started firing back, and that's just not acceptable against a Zerg of this caliber. You are going to get smashed if you end up on a move command. If you're move commanding your Marines out and mutas are sharking around the opening and the entrance, and look what he was struggling to do, take over these supply depots. He can easily crush these supply depots now, and he's even going to go for more, diving on top of the turrets. Going to try and take all of these out. No good surround there from Light to repair that. And now the position is completely open. GG, one misstep from Light.
Wow.
And he just gets absolutely smoked by those Mutalisks in the front. That is another shocker here, honestly. How did Light not control those Marines, or at least have them on a move?
Yeah, this is like kind of a wild series that we're seeing. I don't know what is going on. Maybe there is something in the air saying there's definitely strange times that we live in. There's a lot of craziness in the world, and StarCraft, it looks like, is not safe from that either.
왜냐면 그 10초를 앞당기기 위해서.
예. 아, 올킬 아직 남아 있어요.
크다고 얘기해요.
경기 숫자는
예. 경기 숫자
What the fuck, Light?
I mean,
You just right click your Marines out onto the map? Hello?
I don't know what's going on, man.
I'm lost. Let's just keep it going.
결이 좀 다른 경험이라는. 예, 이영호 선수의 어떤 빌드의 결이 정통 바이오닉이 아니에요. 이재우 선수와 결이 아예 틀려요. 그러니까 이 선수는
Well, it's becoming a trend now, Shun. I was thinking that we might just have a couple of games that were wacky in the early game, similar to the semifinals, but this has gone a little too far at this point. Yeah. It's now like, are we gonna get this? I'm asking myself, are we gonna get this the entire series? It really does feel that way now.
Yeah, I think we will get the whole series, and I think we're in the Twilight Zone or something. So there is definitely some weirdness going on in the stratosphere. Who knows exactly what, but hopefully we can see some more great games. Now we're all tied up 2 for 2. Still those revives waiting as well, so we might see the likes of Soul Key or Royal come back and give us a round 2 later on. Going to be a 12 hatch versus just a normal standard wall in from speed. Nothing too crazy so far.
I'd like to also mention that the all-kill prize is no longer available. Too many players have died on either side or lost on either side, and so that prize pool is going to continue to grow. It's at 3.8 million won, and it's going to surpass 4 million going into Season 1 of 2025. That, for reference, guys, 4 million won is how much you can earn for your whole team by winning this tournament. So whoever wins today, whether it be Zerg or Terran, will share 4 million won. It's about $4,000 with their respective teammates. And now the all-kill prize is going to be even more than that going into the next season. That's getting pretty insane.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice like paycheck to supplement their income. They're definitely happy about that. Hopefully they can play their absolute A games. We've had some really weirdness going on this like the first few games. I wonder if there'll be some normalcy established in this game here. So far, nothing crazy has happened. We see a normal gas timing, just normal like 2-hatch play from Queen. So far so good. We seem like we maybe restored some kind of equilibrium in the Matrix, but I don't know. Let's just keep an eye on the code.
Speed is getting an early gas after his expansion, and I think I know exactly what he is going to pull out for us on a Minstrel.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Vulture speed run by into potentially either Valkyrie or Science Vessel. I've seen him do Science Vessel a couple times. I think the Valkyrie makes more sense.
Yeah, I would say so.
To deal with the counterattack, but this guy, he's just crazy when it comes to being aggressive with vultures. And look at this, he's even going to proxy that factory. So throwing it out on the map, he's going to have these vultures into the natural. 3 of them with speed right as the Mutalisks are leaving the base of the Zerg. So like right around that 6-minute mark, as Queen is like setting his hotkeys and getting his overlords in place, and setting everything up to go into this next stage of the game. He is going to come flying in with those vultures and deal a massive amount of damage, and then fall back onto his anti-air defenses at home, and gives Queen kind of no other option but to just go all in with mutas.
Yeah, I mean, we might see something exactly like that transpire. He's sending some units up here in the top right, though. Maybe he can find this factory. Oh my god, he might find it. He might find it.
Unbelievable. Queen gonna find that with Lings.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
He can now target down. Yeah, he has to cancel the machine shop. He has to put a vulture.
He has to build a vulture. That is craziness. Speed is not going to get away with this, and his plan has been completely upset. The reason I kind of can guess his plan, I've casted so many Speed games, and I know that this is where he excels, is with those Speed vultures.
Right.
But, I mean, just having one vulture out against a bunch of Speedlings, he's not going to get anything done with this, and Queen will be able to get into his Spire Tech unharassed. Great surround there. He will finish this off. Just barely getting away for a second, but there's no way to prevent all damage with that vulture, so he does go down.
Yeah, this is really well played from Queen. Really unfortunate for him. I'm sure he studied a lot of Speeds games and knows that he likes to go for this kind of play, so it is in his wheelhouse that I should probably check for this spot just in case he's trying to, be super cheeky against me, and it does pay off for him, and it's really great for going forward. He will have a follow-up play, though. We'll probably just go straight into Valkyries anyway, but now we look at Queen. Look at that Hydroden already coming down. He knows there's probably going to be Valkyrie follow-up from this, and we can go for a lurker contain maybe. There's going to be a long time before we can do anything about moving out, so we go for very fast lurkers. We're both invincible to any pressure, and also can contain this wall and make it very difficult for Speed to push out. Like a contain of 4 lurkers is almost impenetrable without irradiating tanks.
I really like this idea from Queen. He's coming in with the mutas, of course. Speed is on top of that. I want to mention the way that we usually see Speed play this type of style is he will build the vultures in his main, and then lift the barracks off, push the Overlord back, and then slip the vultures out so that you don't even see them heading out onto the map. But he wanted to do something fancy this game. Oh, the Scourge almost connect on that Valkyrie. That would have been a big moment, but the Valkyrie at least manages to survive. The factory is floating, and so he's not going to be able to easily set that down and start building tanks. And so this makes so much sense what Queen is getting into right now, just going directly for these lurkers. You're just not going to have the tech to deal with it at all.
No. He's going to try and bait out these Valkyries now a little bit. He's got 4 Scourge just coming up. If he can try and bait these Valkyries one more time, he knows the mutas are a little bit soft. He might, pull the trigger a little bit too early with the activation of the attack command, and at the very least, Queen can just come in here and get the finish on this factory and zone out with the Scourge. So looks like he's going to go for. Oh, he's trying to bait. You see that? He let it burn a little bit. He's trying to bait him out to come and save it. He really wants to force these Valkyries to try and come and trade with him, but looks like Speed not going to be foolish enough to fall for that, and instead going to be trying to put some counter pressure out onto the map now. Has a point defense of 3 Valkyries to make do, but lurkers are probably on the way.
Yeah, how far away are we from having lurkers in the natural? It's got to be close.
Should be anytime.
It's got to be very close. So, as long as these finish in time and Speed doesn't just completely annihilate this natural, he should be fine. Queen should be okay. Yeah, those lurkers do pop out at the perfect timing. These Lings are going to come in to try and assist. There's the extra lurkers now, and yes, everything is going to be held no problem. He can even come out, try to burrow these, and just be a little bit sneaky. If he doesn't scan... Oh, he missed with the scan. Oh! Here he goes. Oh! Perfect hold position lurker play, and now the Scourge can connect on all of these Valkyries. Ooh, my gosh, absolutely annihilated. Speed is getting hammered down by Queen at every opportunity. Is just giving him the smackdown. Look at these lurkers. How many kills on those?
I mean,
like 6 and 2, something like that. 8 kills crazy. Total.
This is wild play. This is really wild. I mean, Queen has given him the lotion early game, greased him up, and now is going to skin him alive and wear him. This is absolutely insane, the level of domination we're seeing so far.
Yeah, he puts the lotion on his skin. And now you're in Queen's dungeon. These Dungeness crabs gonna run straight up on top of these Marines. This could be a mistake. He loses one lurker immediately, but he's closing in on that natural. Just like you were talking about earlier, Shin, if he gets 5 lurkers right in front of that natural, how are you ever gonna break out? You don't even have a factory.
Yeah, this is wild right now. He has got the Marines on the southern threshold, so he knows if he does get contained, he can at least try and surround them from the bottom and maybe break out that way, or at least go for a counterattack. He has got dropships, not quite getting scouted by these overlords just yet. There's a pair of Scourge at very low vision range. Oh, I see them! He sees them! He sees them and reacts! Oh my god!
Oh my goodness, the chances of that actually happening are so slim. The fact that he managed to spot something with a Scourge randomly out on the map.
That quick.
Unbelievable. He managed to get that kill.
Wow.
Dropship going to be headed up to top right, but he sees it with the Overlord, and so he's going to change trajectory now, head over towards that main base, I suppose. Actually, he's going to unload everything and go for the natural, it seems like. As the lurkers are coming down, maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a hope. He's actually going to bait with this empty dropship while going into the natural. Can he actually target down a bunch of lurkers and actually break this? He's spreading really, really well, and he's targeting down lurkers. He gets 2. He's going to get the 3rd one. No, a big clump of Marines suddenly goes down to those lurkers.
Wow.
And that is it. He is completely contained with all his Marines dead on the map. Speed has got very little hope of winning this game now.
Yeah, he's in full desperation mode. He knows he's at risk of being busted at any moment. Like, even 5 bunkers and stimming and then going into the bunkers still might not be a good enough defense here once you've got 12 plus lurkers. So needs to be really careful. And he's on a clock. He's got these defilers as a follow-up soon. He's in serious trouble. I don't know how he's going to get out of this one. The dropship also being hunted down by these Mutalisks. Speed is just waiting to die at the moment.
Not really anything else to say about this position. Speed, indeed, waiting to die. Like a man with his head in the cradle, waiting for the scythe to come down and lop off his head. His hands are tied behind his back. These lurkers are waiting for him.
This is Helm's Deep without Gandalf coming to save you.
Something like that, right? The orcs are coming. SCVs are going to be pulled. Okay, he's definitely going to tap out. What is this? SCVs go for it, and the sides vessel goes down. There it is, GG. I haven't seen anyone finish a game quite like that, but there it is. Speed sends the cavalry in and taps out of this game.
Yeah.
That was a game. I mean, that was a real game between Queen and Speed.
That's for sure.
Definitely more real than the previous ones, but still pretty surreal in the way that it played out.
100%. We are definitely in some kind of weird parallel reality right now, saying I'm kind of enjoying it though. It's kind of nice, you know, like being in this weird dimension where maybe the world doesn't need to make sense. Maybe it's like Alice in Wonderland, you know. The whole point is that you're crazy for trying to make sense of it.
킬이 있는데 그 킬러들이 상대의 까다로운 선수를 잘라줬습니다. 자, 최우선 컷 당하느냐 아니면 테란이 모두 한 번씩 잘리느냐. 우승팀 예측에서는 41% 득표율 저그, 그러니까 61% 득표율 저그, 테란 39%의 득표율.
Well, Queen wasn't the hero that I expected, but he was definitely the hero we needed in the Zerg lineup. Able to bring that normalcy back and make this into a potential good series. Like Queen, I really don't know what's gonna happen from here, man. This is wild.
Yeah, this is very.
Wait, hold on. Hold on a second.
Hmm.
오히려 이런 선수 이런
Did I make a mistake earlier?
Well,
Has Queen beaten Light, Speed, and Royal? Or did Action take out Royal?
no. Action.
Did I make a
Action
mistake?
lost. Action lost to Royal.
Did I make a mistake?
Action lost to Royal.
Action lost to Royal,
Royal
and
beat
then
both.
Queen beat Royal.
Yeah.
Speed are Light and Speed.
Yeah.
Oh, so he is on the
Yep.
path to an all kill. What am I saying? I said that there was no all kill
There is a no-kill. bro.
earlier.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Oh my
The
gosh.
matriarchy.
Okay, I have to address that. Hold on. Just delete this file.
I'm gonna take a piss real quick. Then hang on one sec.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back.
Alright, let's go.
시키셨으면은 오는 시간 뭐 식기 전까지는 아무튼가
Okay, I have to apologize. I'm sorry, guys.
9세트까지
Made a big mistake talking about the all kill prize. I, for some reason, thought that Action
김명호 선수만
took out Royal. That's what happened in my mind, anyway.
상대
But actually, it's been Queen, the hero of Zerg, who's taken out Royal, Speed, and Light so far. He only needs to take down Sock to get that all-kill prize that is on the table.
61%
Again, I do apologize. Just it's been so wild this week. My brain could hardly make sense of it. I
Yeah.
kind of lost the script. And now we're here with Sock versus Queen and 3.8 million won on the table for Queen to grab. Can he get a hold of it?
I mean, I'm happy about it. At the very least, it throws us a curveball as casters. Like, yeah, try and make sense of that, buddy. Like, yeah, not your usual dish you're eating, is it? And you're like trying to make sense of these exotic flavors, and you can't quite make sense of the combinations in your mouth, and it doesn't quite gel with you, and you've got to somehow recalibrate and readjust to this alien environment on the fly.
선수가 굉장히 많거든. 고점이 굉장히 또
Something like that for sure. There's something wacky going on today,
주최자로서
and I'm not sure it's just
오늘 오랜만에 올킬 지금 오늘이 380이라는
happening for us. I feel like there's
그렇죠.
오랜만에 올킬
maybe something that we're missing in terms of like what's happened today already. Maybe there was some sort of earlier event
AI breakthrough.
that went on between these two. No, I'm talking about like maybe there's like a pro league, you know, before this where there was a bunch of these players facing off against each other, and they were playing for a huge amount of money, and they tried a bunch of wacky stuff, and now they're here, throwing ideas against the wall again. It's just I don't know. I have no idea what's going on, but like you said, it has been an exciting mix of flavors this cast so far.
Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly been enjoying the wild ride. Now some pressure from Sark. He's a very aggressive Terran usually. Not too surprised to see this. Queen, though, with just the bare minimal amount of drones pulled right now. 5 is a very conservative number. This is like kind of like really sure of yourself way of playing, and knowing that Sark probably won't fully commit to this. So he's trying to min-max, but targets fires one of these drones out, can't quite get it away. Wants to at least find that second drone kill, but he's probably not going to get it now. Queen, very well played in this defense.
Excellent defense there, but Sark is following up with the gas. He only sent the first 2 Marines across the map. He's gone into a factory, and this is typical on kickback. This is something that we see a lot.
Yeah.
Don't really want to... Oh, he's looking for, I think, a drone. One of these drones that was low HP. Something like that, but Sark not able to find anything. He loses the SCV. This, like I said, is typical for kickback. You can't really get in there and see what the Terran player is doing. So it's just kind of a mystery. The Overlord, even if it managed to come up to the top right initially, you can't fly in that close, or you'll just lose everything to Marine, or lose your Overlord to Marines. So, yeah, you can't find out what he's doing, and also we don't want to go into regular bio play on this map because Crazy Zerg is just so powerful here.
It really is. I'm not too surprised we're seeing a little bit of a comeback from the 1-1-1 style of play from the Terrans. It doesn't have a high ceiling of win percentage, unfortunately. That's why Flash stopped using this build. It can be a little bit abused with some 2-hatch Ling and Burrow and stuff like this. There are some shenanigans you can do to make it harder to 1-1-1. So you can't quite hit that 70+% win rate that you see with some of the other styles. So you don't usually see this style as much, but now it seems to have a bit of a resurgence due to the map pools and recalibrating themselves with the range of play from Zergs and reshifting the meta yet again.
This is interesting. He's gone for a Hydra Den, and he's starting to pump out a few Hydras. Will he go for Burrow? I love to see Zergs go for Burrow in a situation like this. You see the Vulture, you know the 1-1-1 is coming. Why not get into that Burrow upgrade? It just helps you to delay and deny so many kills from Vulture run-bys and from Wraiths in the early game as well. It's interesting that he went for the Hydra Den and he went for Lair as well. What do you think he's going to follow up with the Lair?
Well, I think it'd just be a normal game here. I think he'll do some pressure with the Hydras. I wonder if he'll make more than 4. I think sometimes you can make like 5 or 6 with speed and go for a bit of a counter attack and force a bunker out of the Terran at least. He's trying to micro down this Hydra. He will get it with the burst laser as well. Nicely done from Sark. I'm impressed to see that. We'll lose the Vulture though due to being so distracted. Bunker now coming online, the natural expansion. These Hydras can get a little bit of pressure done at the front though. Wraith trying to harass in the back line on the drones though. Rally Hydras will at least deal with that. Might get the catch here on the exit. Ooh, not quite. Ooh. Yeah, unfortunately not killing that Wraith. Yeah, so close. Just one more hit from those acid spines would have finished it off.
So the Lair, is that going to be just for Overlord speed? Yeah, okay, Overlord speed. So that he can come up here to the front and the cloak is not going to just deny Hydras from hitting this wall. I guess that at least makes sense. I just thought he would go for a faster third hatchery and try to get more drones out, but yeah, just relying on Overlord speed here to help him push through this. A tank comes out, though, and the tank is going to be very hard to deal with only this few number of Hydras. He's kind of got to fall back from this position.
Yeah, he can do one of two things. He can either do a more all-in way of playing and do like a mass doom drop into the main base of Sark and just drop the Hydras on top of the siege tanks and things like that. Or he can do a much more passive way of playing, eventually go Queens and then just, make, like his namesake, just make like 5 to 12 Queens and play like this. Either way, I think he's going to be okay. If it was a bio follow-up from Sark, he also has the option of going Hydra Lurker, so that's why we see a very early Evo chamber as well. Could do a Hydra Lurker transition if he needed to, if there was going to be a bio follow-up from Sark, but I think it might be mech.
Just one Hydralist over at the natural means that quite a few Overlords could go down. Hydra's being brought up here pretty quick though, and only one drone ends up losing its life. Overlord flying in, it's very important to know what's going on at this point. Queen has to figure it out by diving in. He sees the engineering bay. That's a big scout. Now that he's seen the +1s coming,
Yeah.
He's gonna know that it's a bio follow-up, and he can prepare accordingly by getting that lurker upgrade right away.
Yeah, he might have thought it was mech, but now he certainly doesn't think so. It will be a more like biomech style with these tanks acting as support, doing a tank push on the front line just before there's enough timing to get the defilers ready. So you do have a critical window of about a minute or two to really mess the Zerg up, and that's why we see a lot of barracks now coming online. Because he's got such a small bioforce, though, it will take a long time to actually push out, so he will be on the tail end of that window. So due to Queen being a little bit slow, hopefully won't get too punished for it, and maybe can just barely delay and get these defilers out in time. But I'm not sure how he's going to do that. He's going to have to do something to keep this Terran pinned back for a little bit of time.
I don't know if he's going to be able to go for defilers with this. I think just mass Hydra Lurker. Okay, he is getting the Queen's Nest, or sorry, the Hive. So
he can't not.
Right. I thought that maybe he would just try to overwhelm this when it comes out, and go for drop as well. Try to do like Lurker drops into the mineral lines and that sort of thing. But maybe I've been watching too much Zealot lately. This is a more standard way to play.
Yeah, he could play more maneuver-based warfare and try and go for like lurker drops and stuff like that. It's just a little bit gambit-based, and he knows there's wraiths out on the map. It's not the most ideal situation for him to do something like that. He could, though. I think we'll much more likely see the standard. Yeah, there's a Defiler Man there. Follow-up from him. It is a little bit of weird, the game that we're seeing right now, because Sark doesn't have the infantry force to push out early, so he's kind of waited quite a long time. This is about as late as he can wait until he goes. He needs to go very soon. It makes sense that he's moving out just now. It's about as late as he can move out while still maintaining a pretty healthy window of 30 seconds to 60 seconds where there's just no Defiler or Dark Swarm to handle this. That's why we see the Lurkers coming out on the periphery to buy a little bit of time and force the tanks to maybe siege up once or twice, just to try and get these defilers squeezed out here.
It's also kind of nice that Queen put his buildings so far back in his base. It's going to be a little bit of time for Doc to actually push in and get in range of some of these hatcheries, and the Sunken Colonies are going to buy a little bit of time out in the front. Those two irradiates go down. There's quite a few lurkers here. +1 is done. A lot of Hydras coming out. A lot of eggs are in production right now, and there will be a Defiler here in a moment. See how far Sok has to push in, though, to get these siege tanks in range of anything. The first thing he's going to come into range of, I think, is going to be the Gas Geyser, or maybe this hatchery at the bottom side.
Yeah. There's a lot of possibility for him to just hold this cleanly now, but the Defiler hasn't consumed just yet, trying to push the issue. Gets right on top of his face, though, with some burrowed lurkers. I think Queen is going to be just fine if he can just barely finish up this consume. He wasted those irradiates on those lurkers to push in quicker. I don't think he needed to do that. I think that was a mistake from Sark, wasting those irradiates. Maybe wanted to save at least one of them to help kill these Defilers. I need to talk about it. Look at this, though. He's breached the front, regardless of that fact. There's a couple more lurkers to hold, but he's done a good job at least trading off the Zerg's army to make the most out of this push. But now Consume is done, so we will see that instant cloud of death coming out from Queen to save the day. At least will not be dying with the Cheeto dust greasing up this Terran.
Well, that was a bit of a sloppy hold by Queen. He needed to buy that time for the Consume to be done, but did he really need to throw his army in so deep, lose so many lurkers to make it happen? I guess maybe that was the case. Now he's got, of course, the Plague upgrade is going to be on the way. Once that's done, there's a potential for him to actually push back the Terran and start to, get aggressive a little bit. Coming out like this, though, and not fighting under Dark Swarm is a little bit scary. He will get another Dark Swarm up. Lurkers out here in the front. He's trying to target down some of these vessels, but he hasn't been able to kill any yet. And another one of these Defilers is probably going to get Dark Swarmed here in a moment. Yeah. Excuse me, irradiated here in a moment. And the more that you can just delay this and just keep on getting these irradiates down over and over again on the Defilers, the more wind you can take out of the sails of Queen, who needs to push out soon because these bases are not going to last much longer. Ooh. Great plagues to start.
Yeah, be really aggressive with these defilers, though. Risking Sark pulling the trigger on target firing those downs prematurely. Needs to be careful. He's assuming Sark won't be able to react quick enough, and he's right about that. Also target firing down those weakened vessels now, siphoning off the critical gas utility support units of Sark. Those are his basically main fighting force right now. The irradiates are so crucial. Look at this. Great sniping on the tanks as well with the Hydras. There is another dropship trying to circumnavigate this Zerg periphery, come around to this third base on the bottom left and try and put on some pressure onto there to at least slow down the Zerg advance while also forcing responses from him. Maybe he can somehow turn this game into a win still, but he needs to find some damage. He's not really done enough to Queen.
Really weird position on that evolution chamber is actually making things hard. It's making it tough to get units up that ramp, but he does manage to sneak some of those lurkers up onto that high ground, push back the drop. Kind of interesting that Sock decided to pick that up and run away rather than stay and try to get a decent trade. But I guess keeping that up on the map is a little bit better, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, I think the Evo chamber was because he thought it might have been mech, so he was doing it for vulture block reasons, so it's easier to stop the vultures at the bottom of the ramp, maybe, with the lings running around and stuff. I think it's just to help circumnavigate vulture issues with, like speed vultures later on.
Maybe so. Not a mech play here, though. Sock, he's gotten into his upgrades. He's got those that bio pumping out. He has the third base online as well. He's sticking with his guns. Lots of tanks coming out to the front as well. Still pumping those out, but the defilers have made their way all the way across the map. Where are these vessels? Where are the irradiates to stop the defilers from getting up here?
Yeah.
He's being a little bit too conservative with his vessels and allowing these to get so far up. He's going to perhaps lose his entrance here.
Yeah.
To some well-placed lurkers under Darkswarm.
I think he's irradiated just one or two, too many lurkers. He's always got like just one or two irradiates behind curve, and now Queen can just be a little bit more overly brazen with these defiler plays and get right on top of his production, which is basically disaster for Terran. It's really hard to recover from the game once the Zerg's on top of your production like this. He's just barely still in the game. He needs to somehow kill this defiler that's just chilling out here. He hasn't quite lost the game yet, but this is almost a dangerous position to be in. Now we finally got that irradiate down on that defiler, but he's already on top of his production. It's going to be very difficult to macro his way out of this game. He's also supply blocks right now, so he's just going to be banking up minerals and not really doing a whole lot of anything. If he loses buildings as well, this is going to be really critical. He needs to keep repairing his buildings. There is a lot of SimCity to work with, though, so it's hard for Queen to come in there and do any damage. Queen, though, surging forth on the front, not quite getting the damage he was looking for with those lurkers. There's just Hydras remaining as his bioforce, and with 2-1 up, 2-2 upgrades, will not be able to necessarily get through those.
That is crazy. I mean, Queen, he almost had this in the bag, and now he's being pushed back.
He might still have it.
Does lose.
I hope he still has it.
Sock does lose a bunch of those Marines. That Bioforce gonna have to fall all the way back to this front, but that's a lot of tanks, and there are no defilers with this force. Yeah. Queen desperately needs a fourth base. His gases are going to start to mine out. I know it's only 15 minutes in, but this is kickback. Those gases mine out so quick. He's going to be on like 2 gases and then on 1 gas very, very soon. And so he desperately needs that bottom center base to come up and online, whereas Sock, he can just keep putting on pressure, and this is that dropship that he picked up all those Marines into earlier. He's going to be able to put on massive pressure to this base. Maybe we get the cancel potentially if he stims and targets this down well. He's got +2 on those Marines. He is going to force a cancel here.
Yeah, he is. He's going to get it. Oh, this is really unfortunate. He doesn't even get the cancel. Oh, my days. This is terrible. He gets the dropship at least. It's some compensation, but it's not really enough right now. These 2 bases are about to become mined out. He desperately needs some additional bases set up. I guess Sark also has the problem of his own bases mining out very quickly, so it is a bit of a problem for them both right now, but it kind of favors Sark as long as he can stop additional bases from sprouting out right now. Starting to come out onto the map to get some map control with his Bioforce. Needs these tank units critically, though. He can't just fight straight up with his Bio Ball. He needs to make sure his tanks are in good positions and with his army at all times.
Yeah, getting the big tank spread over towards that middle area in between the bases of Queen is going to be key. He's already gotten himself into a kind of a tricky position. Let's see if he can set up in an unbreakable kind of spread here before Queen could get to the front. What is this drone? Oh my gosh, so many drones making their way to the front. What a massive macro round from Queen that's just going to be kind of shut down. Look at all these drones. He's built like 40 drones.
Migration.
Wait, hold on. What is this?
They do move in herds, Sam.
This is like 20 drones that he just built for bottom left. Kind of an awkward timing on that, but somehow he's going to hold on for the time being, and maybe he can get another macro round out of Hydras, Lings, and Defilers to actually keep this going. Nidus Canal is coming up, and I mean, if there's anything on the map for Sock to get down to that bottom left, it's completely undefended.
Oh no!
And Queen he's got so much money invested in that base now. He's got so many drones down there that he needs to make that happen.
Okay, now he sees them. I thought for a second we're going to have a repeat of the last game where he thought he clicked right and then doesn't check and they never go to mine. But luckily he gets them mining pretty quickly. Now also getting on top of these 2 tanks. If he can keep this game scrappy, the more chaotic this game is, the better it is for Queen. He just needs to somehow keep catching these tanks, but he's not quite getting the damage that he needs as cost efficiently as he needs. He's doing kind of the right moves, but he's not executing to perfection, and he's allowing the drip feed of Terran to slowly overcome him on some of these thresholds. Not quite able to get enough damage quickly enough with his glass cannon army. He has got some defilers to keep pushing this back, but slowly might be losing this war of attrition over time. If it wasn't for the fact that Sark doesn't have a 4th base, the fact that Sark hasn't got a 4th base, I'm starting to think that Queen is going to go all the way and win this if he can somehow maintain game state.
I'm kind of shocked at the fact that he didn't send any Marines down to bottom left. He's got to know that there's a base somewhere. It's just crazy that he's not scanning that area. It feels like he just doesn't have any idea that that's a thing. Almost all of his minerals are gone. Only that 3rd base really remains. His tank count looks really good, but he needs more than that. He needs income to keep these bioforces coming out. Look at how slowly his money is going up. He's at 93 resources, and he's building like 2 or 3 Marines at a time.
Yeah, it's because he's got loads of idle SCVs on one base and not really mining on the other one. So he's still got quite a few minerals left on one of these bases. The saturation hasn't been great. Maybe that was by design. He wanted to maintain some saturation. Yeah, he's got a CC built to flow over to this 4th base soon, but isn't currently doing that. Supplies look about where they should be for a Terran versus Zerg, but this is looking into the late game now, so this gets worse and worse for Sark the longer we go on. This is okay in the mid game, but the longer this goes on, this is not the way you want to maintain. Now that we got the 4th gas coming online, eventually we'll start to be able to trickle out some ultras as well, and if we can keep killing the tanks and make sure there's not a critical mass of tanks to worry about, Zerg's feeling fine about this. Like, kind of Sark is giving the game away to Queen by donating this many tanks to him, unfortunately. Like, he needs like 12, 20 tanks all just in one big siege line, smashing face. If he keeps losing tanks like this, he'll never have that.
That is wild to me. I think he's just figured out that there's a base down in bottom left. He sent some forces down here to try and contest, but as you can see, it's already completely set up. There's no chance of breaking through here with that Nidus Canal already in place. He just needs to get a Dark Swarm down, maybe a Plague on some of these units. A bunch of Links going to pop out. The Scourge.
Wow.
Clear out the Science Vessel, and Sock is just on the edge of defeat. I can't really believe that he pushed in with all of those tanks and kind of let them go down. He lost like 6 tanks in that previous engagement, just trying to push into this natural against Dark Swarm and Hydra. It is wild to me that he went that hard, trying to get in there. And not really covering that with bio. That's the whole point of this composition, is you've got the bio to cover, and the tanks are going to be dealing the long distance splash damage that the Marines need to cut through some of these Dark Storms to deal damage under Dark Storm, but he just hasn't been executing it properly, and now Lurkers are going to come running forward. He's going to be able to siege up again. Maybe he can target down the Defiler, but there's a Plague, a great Plague. Just get rid of some more of these tanks, and the tank number is just not there anymore, Shun. It was like 12 tanks before, and there's only 2 left in this game. It's wild.
And now we got Ultra transition possibilities. So if you don't have your 20 tanks, then the Ultras just wreck you. This is exactly what the Zerg wants, to keep the game as scrappy and chaotic as possible, so there's not enough gas units on the board, or at least together on the board. Even if they have got 20 tanks, as long as they're not together and they're spread out across the map like the Roman Empire, just too thin to maintain, and eventually will crumble under its own weight, unfortunately. But I don't know, like I'm a little bit confused about this. Maybe Sark, I can forgive him for just misreading the game state, but honestly it's a little bit unforgivable. It also gets one of his dropships caught coming in here in this bottom left. It's really unfortunate, and gonna get shut down. Kills the CC with Lings, doesn't even get to lift it off.
What is happening?
What is going on? Listen, they're malfunctioning. Listen, we're in the Matrix right now, okay? Literally in the Matrix. The universe is screaming out to us right now to pay attention. You guys are all asleep. You need to wake up.
Well, I just don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, Queen is going to get an all kill from the weirdest week of KCM I think we've ever had. What is going on with these players? It was Terran, or it was Zerg that was falling apart for the most games this series, but now Sok has just completely lost the script, and is getting dominated by Queen, taking so many good trades. This eventual transition into Ultra is going to be completely overwhelming. I don't see a world where Queen can, or where Sok can hold this off. There's just going to be so much more Zerg. It's just going to be a numbers game at this point. There's really no way for Sok to come back. He's trying to push one more time into the bottom left. He's going to cast a couple of Darkstorm. He's going to set up his base, or set up his tanks there at the front once again. But again, only 2-3 tanks is not going to cut it. These are not the numbers of tanks that you need to break through any sort of Zerg position at this point in the game. He's just going to get pushed back, and with very few vessels remaining, the 12 ultras or whatever that are about to pop out with 5-2. How do you ever stop that?
I mean, you stop it with like 20 plus tanks, saying, and that's the problem, is that this guy should have been just building his tank count all game long and banking them and keeping them protected like gold dust, and instead we see just the opposite of that. Unfortunately, Sark has fallen apart. Maybe that's why he relies on his aggression so much, not quite able to navigate these late game decision trees quite as efficiently as some of these other more experienced players like Light. GG finally called from him, and there's gonna have to be a revive allocated to one of these players. Maybe Royal. He had a godly set of games against Action and Sulky, making them both look absolutely silly. Who knows if that was all on him, though? That could have just been some kind of weirdness in the Matrix, making these players play like absolute sausage monkeys.
만약에 여기서 나와서 지더라도 부활권을 다시 한번 본인이 또 나올 수도 있어요. 그러니까 두 번의 기회가 있을 수도 있는 거예요.
두 번을 놓칠까 오늘 김명훈이?
What the hell did I just watch?
We saw Lings kill a CC without lifting.
It's Royal.
Not even many Lings.
No, not even many Lings.
And he only had one thing he was concentrating on. Like, it wasn't like he was being dropped somewhere else as well or something. Like, it wasn't like he was like spinning like 3 plates and one of them crashed.
I want to give props to Queen, but at the same time, like...
Wait,
like what?
Let's just, I mean, yeah, the whole point is that there's so much weirdness happening, it's hard to attribute merit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like the Elon Musk.
Exactly.
It's almost like the Elon Musk situation. Like, he promotes meritocracy, but at the same time, like, buys his way into his own achievements. So it's kind of like a weird dynamic. I don't know exactly how we attribute value here.
It's so weird. All right, let's go. There it is, guys. The all-kill prize goes to Queen. He's managed to annihilate the entire Terran squad, 4 wins in a row, and very much deserves that 3.8 million won, but it's hard to attribute that completely to Queen's skill when the Terran players are just falling apart. Like, what is going on, man?
I don't know.
Why? What happened? What?
Yeah. I think
both of these squads are crazy.
I think no, we're crazy for trying to make sense out of it. That's what I was trying to say earlier with the Alice in Wonderland quote, saying we are the crazy ones for trying to make sense out of this. We should just go with the flow more and just, analyze on the fly.
I think I just need to lie down, Shun. Like, this is too much for me.
Do you want a hug?
I need to close my eyes and just go into the dreamland where things actually make sense.
Maybe this is the dreamland.
Well, regardless, Royal is going to open up with a barracks in his wall, and I assume try to put on some sort of wacky marine pressure, or some sort of wacky but pretty well standard in the modern day marine pressure. Remember that he got insane damage on Queen in his match, his first match versus him with the 8 racks. By the way, why he's mining that one patch over and over again, that's the fastest patch in your Mineral Linus Zerg player on this side. That's the best patch. So it mines the fastest. If you can force the drone off of that patch, that second to bottom patch, it's the most value for the Terran player. And Protoss players will do it as well, but it's just annoying. Just that's the one that automatically will boost. And so Royal trying to get every little edge that he can in this game, and he's gonna keep this SCV alive, but he's already taken some damage on it. One thing that he's been doing every game is keeping this SCV alive at high HP, and then when the lings start to pop out, he's just looping back around into the main over and over again, so that he can decide, does he want to push out with these Naked Marines or not? And more often than not, he's able to see exactly what his Zerg opponent has and respond accordingly.
Yeah. I think the thing that's so dangerous about having to deal with that harassment is that you have to, if you want maximum mineral efficiency, you want to manually use the return cargo when it's halfway back to the hatchery, so you get the boost on the first couple of cycles, because even though it automatically boosts, it doesn't usually automatically boost on the first 1 or 2 cycles. It does it after once. Yeah, so it's a really annoying thing to have to keep resetting over and over again for maximum efficiency if you're dealing with it at a high level.
That's right. Very annoying stuff. With everything else that's going on in your head, is he going to be walking out with the Marines at this time? What was there an 8 racks coming? He doesn't really know what's going on, and he's being forced to focus on his mineral optimization. Something that should just be second nature, but that Royal is messing with. Now, back at home, Royal opening with a Academy rush. He's going to look to push out pretty soon, but quite a few lings have been made. Queen is kind of ready for this. Maybe he wants to run by once that push starts to come out here, and it should be coming soon.
Yeah, this is the common way of wanting to deal with this as efficiently as possible. It's the only way of dealing with the 2 racks push without having to make sunkens. You have to do this kind of ling pressure play to force them to play extra safe. And if they do somehow confidently move out and block with Firebat, you then have to make a few additional lings to surround and kill those bio units before they kill you. But yeah, it's a different style choice, but I think this is the most optimal way of playing, of just making 6 speedlings to threaten the run by and buy as much time as possible without any investment in sunkens.
Follow-up play, going to be 4 racks, Marine. And he went for 2 racks, Academy, right into the 3 racks and didn't push. It's a very interesting style that we're seeing out of Royal that kind of makes it look like he's gone for a +1 build, right? This is looking much more like a +1 build, but it's actually just going to be way more Marines, no +1, and that very fast range as well. So maybe he's banking on the fact that Queen is not going to be ready for the sudden surge of Marines, and having the range early to kind of bully back these mutas.
Right, that's the main thing, is that the range being done can sometimes make a Zerg make a mistake, and like you fly a little bit too close to the sun and get burnt, and they start gunning down like 1 or 2 of your mutas almost for free, and then it's like, oh no, now I've lost my air superiority, I haven't got any Sunkens back at home, now I'm in trouble.
He's trying to threaten here as best he can to push all the way into the natural, and he's forced one emergency sunken out of Queen. But Queen, as long as he avoids this and keeps that sunken over at the natural, okay, he's going to go towards the third. Another sunken might have to be made over at that spot as well. Unless Queen wants to put together enough Lings and Mutas to actually crush this. Being very aggressive with the Marines, just keep stimming over and over again, but I think this is okay considering he got the very early medics. He got 3 medics really early on, and he's bringing out a secondary force to come and join up with this. If these two forces end up joining together and hitting one of these bases, it's going to be bad news for Queen. He really needs to do something about this.
Yeah, honestly, like it's not optimal for him to make Lings either, because he's only got these 3 hatcheries, so he might want to instead like just pump out pure mutas instead on these 3 gases. Would be more maybe an optimal way of using his lava. So he has to kind of just focus on his muta micro, breaks through the sunken, will clean up the first auxiliary force of Marines, but he knows there's no sunkens behind this, so if he can somehow trade off these mutas with target firing, the Zerg is a free kill here, so he just needs to win out on the trades, target fire these mutas, maybe he can get in there and kill these drones, Saiyan.
This is a big gamble because Royal could have killed the third base during this attack at the natural, but he instead opted to bring everything together, and he's trying to bust and win right here, right now. Queen is falling apart. He's only got a few mutas left. A lot of them are low HP. 6 mutas remain. If he goes down to 5, he can just barely one-hit still. He is going to be able to one-hit for a little bit longer. Another muta pops out. Still 5 mutas. He can still one-hit these. He can still one-hit with perfect micro. One more shot, and one more, and one more. He gets them all. Oh wow. My goodness, that was so close. He lost that 1 muta there at the end. With only 4, you can no longer one-shot, and then things get very dicey.
It's very hard for Terran there. You need to have all of your barracks like completely hotkeyed and perfectly pumping out. Flash would hotkey up to 5 of his barracks, whereas most of the pro gamers once upon a time would only hotkey up to 3. So it's very difficult to pump out 4 barracks with hotkeys while controlling your bio units. Maybe that's why we saw some of those Ghost Marines targeting down that hatchery rather than getting in there and getting on top of those mutas and drones a little bit more cost efficiently. Now Queen just barely threading the needle in his defense, now putting on the pressure onto Royal while droning up his third base. Much more healthier economy now in this game going forward.
Royal did manage to sneak 3 Marines out on the field, though. They're heading along the left-hand side of the map. They're going to try to go... Oh, there's a sunken. Queen.
Wow.
Dude, Queen might be winning this game. He might be winning this game, man. That was a very big risk for Royal to send his bioforces over to the natural rather than just attacking this third. Like, let me be clear. He could have killed this third base 100%. All the mutas went back to the natural to deal with that force that came to the natural. That was forced by Royal. And instead of just cleaning the third for free, he went for the kill. Now he's got this situation where he might not be able to win. He does have a lot of bio here, though. 3 sunken colonies are not going to be finished in time. Can he actually break through at the very last moment with 2 Valkyries to get a big volley there before the engagement can come through? Here comes the Scourge. He's going to try and hit this. Oh, all the Scourge get gunned down immediately. The mutas can't do anything, and GG is called. Royal taps Queen. That's crazy.
Royal is absolutely
no way
insane tonight. He played like such a silly Billy last in the semifinals, like just a few moments ago, and now complete reverse. Like, just maybe he did that to subvert expectations to make people underestimate him or something. I don't know what is going on, because this is a totally different Royal that is showing up, and somehow it looks like the matriarchy has been slain with like pure efficiency.
Queen's been revived.
Rematch. All right, I'm gonna take another leak to make sure I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Got a bladder the size of a peanut today. Yeah, I'm back.
Yo, okay, let's go.
Let's get it.
올킬러가 됩니다. 보시는 것처럼 올킬 상금 380만 원과 닥터 뷰티풀 클리닉에서 제공해드리는 시술권도 피부 재생 테라피 시술권 드립니다.
Well. What can we say about this series? Queen now being revived for the rematch. He's won a game and lost a game versus Royal so far, and we're going to break that tie now. Saxory is still waiting in the wings for Zerg, but there'll be no further revives from here. If Royal can take out Queen and then Saxory, he will secure that victory and secure that bag for the Terran squad.
Yeah.
Man, that was actually the best game of the night, that last one. As kind of silly as that is, that was, I mean, still a pretty wacky back and forth between Royal and Queen.
I think it's good, and now we've got a theme. We've got a battle of the monarchs right now. You know, it's the patriarchy versus the matriarchy. This is amazing. I'm loving this. Right? It doesn't matter if you're a misandrist or a sexist, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just come in here and have a good time and watch these guys duke it out. It's nice to see these guys on the battlefield for a change, rather than just sending out all the working class to go and fight their battles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes the Royals gotta lead in the front. Gotta move your king first.
That's how it used to be, man. Feudal times, the kings would lead from the front. That's why you were so hyped to actually fight for them.
Talking about like Macedonian times, like Alexander the Great leading the charge, go first over the wall.
Yeah, man, Macedonia
in
was some,
any siege.
That was some OG stuff, man. You got to do it. If you want to listen, there's rumors that spread on a battlefield. You hear your leader's dead, even if he's not. Like maybe your horse gets taken out from underneath you, and there's like, oh, he's dead. And sometimes you got to ride out and be like, no, look at me, mother, I'm here, I'm still alive. Let's keep fighting. Otherwise, your troops are going to rout, thinking that the cause is lost.
And none of this Napoleon stuff, standing at the back, watching the enemies, or watching the battle play out from the safety of your tent or from the safety of a hill. Instead, these two are down in the trenches and battling it out fiercely, trying to win for their squad. Both sides are cheering loudly from the stands. Speed, Sock, and Light getting dominated this week, not really showing up when they needed to. Same thing goes for Action and Soulkey, cheering for their champions here and hoping to get that bag. Now, the one rest fast expand once again from Royal, is it going to be followed up by a 2 racks pressure? No. Factory is coming out for him. He's going to be opting towards more of a speed-esque build, most likely.
Yeah. Not 2.5 hatchery from Queen. Nothing too crazy this game. I'm thinking that between these two, we'll see both the most normal games of the night, but also the most interesting to watch, because I think they'll be pretty solid games with pretty satisfying conclusions as well. Royal trying to already scout around with his Naked Marines. He doesn't want to push out too far with them. He knows there's a potential you just get gobbled up. Oh, PP! What? Okay, we haven't had a pause in a long time. So there is definitely something weird in the air. Definitely something weird.
Definitely. Definitely. It's been, I don't think we've seen it for maybe a season or two. A pause in the middle of KCM, but there it is.
Yeah.
We're back into this game now, and Queen getting his starport online. What do you think? This is going to be a Speed Vulture run by? We're going to see something different from Royal here. Starport gets started. No add-on. So not going to be that Speed Vulture play.
Right. I was just about to say, I don't think it's going to be the speed variant. There are so many ways you can play 1-1-1, which is why it's such a strong build. You can say you're playing a series with someone, you want to open up 1-1-1 every single time. Well, that's okay. You can just do slightly different variations. Like one game you go for just straight up normal play, and the next game you go for a Speed Vulture run by. And these are great ways of being a good player in StarCraft. You want to have a range of play. You don't want to be like, being able to be isolated down to a very specific build order with one specific timing that it focuses on every single time. It's very easy to exploit and metagame. So when you're playing a series with someone, unless you're such a good player that even if they know what you're going to do, you can still beat them on execution, you kind of have to mix it up.
Royal's going to hit a quick Valkyrie timing. Have the first Valkyrie popping out right as the Mutalists of Queen are coming in for their initial harassment. Meanwhile, transitioning into mutas or transitioning into Marines, excuse me, and getting his upgrades online. It's a bit of a flimsy build, but once it gets online fully, once you've got the Valkyries out and you have all these barracks up, then it becomes quite powerful. It's just getting there that can be the problem sometimes. If Scourge are made and you snipe one Valkyrie right off the bat, oh my goodness, does it ever fall flat?
Yeah.
Can just be completely torn apart by these initial mutalisks. Let's see how this goes, though. I don't see any Scourge in the composition.
No, and Queen did a nice little tactical snipe on one of those Marines already, so slight less potency in this already flimsy build. Pretty good point defense using the screening of those Valkyrie missiles, though. It's not really... without Scourge, you can't really come in and punish that unless you've got a much larger flock of mutas. If you had like 10, 11 mutas, you could just come in there and triple shot down that Valkyrie when it's on its own like that. But with just 8 mutas, it's not so easy to get that done, so it's much more safer just to run away and bide your time, maybe get a pair of Scourge coming out to try and snipe those later on.
Yeah, you'll see sometimes at the highest level Zergs that sniff out a build like this, they'll bring 2 Scourge initially with that first group of mutas, right. And you can see that Roy was, he was fully committed to just attacking with that Valkyrie, and if you just have a pair of Scourge in there, you pull it out and nab that first Valkyrie, oh my goodness, the things fall apart so fast. But luckily for Royal, that wasn't the case. Now Queen gonna come over and start to harass the natural. There's a very small amount of turrets, very light turret coverage in this natural because of the Valkyrie play. But the Valkyries are back at home. The hatchery in bottom left has been cancelled. This Bioforce down here might be able to track down that drone. It might not. He's going to go ahead and try to hide that while diving in, but he actually needs to do some damage now. He has to get in here and really put the hurt onto Royal, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's trying to get one connection. He does get one. One Valkyrie goes down. That's very big. Can he get another? not able to get that connection.
Yeah, Queen also was clever and managed to hide that drone quite well. Royal basically took the bait and ran back with the Bioforce after checking the bottom left spot and saw there was no hatchery there. So now Queen can make a hatchery in the bottom left right now. Look how much damage he's doing, ravaging these SCVs right now, trying to desperately get to the natural expansion. Full retreat in the middle of the board right now, trying to get these Marines back up to defend as desperately as possible. They spent so much time wasting in the bottom left trying to find that hatchery and drone, and then on Radion cross map is almost such a long run distance that almost the damage has been untenable for now Royal to keep going forward in this game. I don't know if he even can like stabilize and make a good game out of this, or at the very least this is great compensation for Queen having to force this cancel on this hatchery and delaying his third base. I don't think it matters anymore how much damage he's done.
Now, this is the damage I was talking about. He needed to do a gang of damage. He needed to do big damage to Royal, and he snipes down another Valkyrie. Oh my goodness, the extra Scourge that have been coming in over and over again. Royal has not been controlling his Valkyries properly, and he is getting punished unbelievably well by Queen, who's now taking another base in bottom right. He's just going to double expand both sides of the map and maybe just go straight into Ultra. Is that what we're planning to do? He has the evolution chamber down already.
Yeah, he can go for Ultra. It depends on how early he got that evolution chamber down. I didn't see when he took that. If he took it down like a minute or two ago, maybe he can still go for that. Oh, he tries to get the contain with the lurkers. This is so huge. Okay, this is rough because either he can break through and do lots of damage in the natural expansion, or at the very least contain the Terran and make it much more difficult. But he's actually going to get it right on top of the natural expansion right now. Picks off the tank on the ramp. This is huge. Now there's no way of stabilizing against the lurkers. He's trying to desperately keep his Valkyrie alive. Gets it sniped. Queen is playing out of his mind right now. Matriarchy is reigning supreme.
My god, these lurkers are going to do so much damage. And I don't think he's even got siege mode finished. He's going to pop out a tank here soon, and that's it. Wow. GG. Royal taps out Queen. Absolute clean sweep. Takes out every single Terran player in a row and gets the revive after losing one single game to Royal. He finishes him off, winning that little impromptu best of 3 and taking home the prize pool. The entire prize pool for the Zerg side, 4 million won, split 4 ways, $1 million won each, plus his 3.8 million for the all kill. This guy just brought home about $4,000 for himself. Is going to be leaving with a big old smile on his face, taking advantage of one of the wackiest weeks of KCM we've ever had. And I don't think I remember a week being any more wild than this, especially not a finals, that's for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like they had scouts in the semifinals and they thought, how do we top that? How the writers at KCM were just wondering, how do we go? We didn't have scouts for like 10 years, so now what do we do? Oh, I know, and we got this.
Got some incredibly wacky plays. I mean, the kind of disappointing performance from both Soulkey and Action. What do you even say about it? I want to wipe that from my memory. I just want to delete it. It's gone, man. Like, let's move on. I'm sure that Soulkey and Action both wish that was the case.
Yeah,
everybody go ahead and forget about that.
It certainly subverted expectations for this matchup, at least. I mean, Royal knocking them both out so quickly made it look like maybe Zerg was in a lot of trouble, but somehow Queen was able to show up today in a way we haven't seen in a long time. Queen has not necessarily been playing at the highest of levels for quite some time, but more recently he's been showing up a little bit better to the table. Maybe he's hungrier for it than these other guys. It's certainly seeming like it. But I was worried for Zerg. I thought Soulkey and Action going down that early on was spell disaster for Terran, but no, not at all. They somehow managed to turn it around. I thought Royal was going to carry them all the way to the end and the finish line, but finally snuffing him out.
Well, it all really came down to that one game, right? That one game where Royal 8 Raxed Queen killed
Yeah.
6 drones and then wasn't able to close because he kept sending Marines instead of setting up a
ridiculous.
bunker in his mineral line. He tries to hold his own natural. It's just, it boggles the mind, Shun.
Well,
it really does boggle
He
the mind.
held the all-in. He held the all-in. Bunker repaired. Went down to like 10 HP. He still keeps the bunker alive. He's like, oh, just run out and, lose all my Marines to your lings.
Time to counterattack.
It's like, scout first,
Certainly.
you crazy mother. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly he wouldn't still be making lings, right? And he was. He was
The only
still
way
making lings.
The only way he can beat
Win.
me is if he keeps making lings. Oh, let's go and check with my face. Oh, yep, I did get punched in the face.
Oh, Royal, with that loss, I mean, it slipped through his fingers. The whole 3 million won just went by the wayside because of that one massive mistake. Who knows what could have happened if you beat Queen there, and then he went on to face Saxer. I think he gets the all-kill prize, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if he would have won necessarily afterwards with the revive, but you don't need to beat the revived player as well. You just need to beat all 4 players in a row, and then you're going to be gold, and you're going to be taking that home. So, a real shame for Royal and the Terran squad, but Zerg takes this victory home. All hail to the Queen. I just absolutely inane end to what was an incredible season of KCM. Shun.
Yeah.
But let's just go back through our memory. Just remember all the good times. This season has been so amazing up until really the semifinal and final. I mean, even the latter part of the semifinal was amazing. But
Right.
yeah, we can't get perfection all the way through. I suppose that's kind of the way it goes.
I mean, this is a surprise season as well. We were not expecting a season 5, and we've had such a roller coaster as well. Really unexpected games and swings, and not really knowing what's going to happen has been the theme of KCM for at least a few seasons running now. And I'm always excited and kind of speechless at the game states that we managed to find ourselves in.
Well, with this being the end, I guess it's going to be an interview with Queen to finish us off here at KCM. Season 5 is done, guys. I'm not sure if we're going to get a 1-week break. If trends continue, then we're going to go straight into Season 1 of 2024 coming up next week. And I hope that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
Because we cannot get enough of this amazing tournament. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next season. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Boom. Laka.
On.
Squadoosh.
God.
Some
It's like-
craziness, man.
It was like
It was a fever
If-
dream. What the fuck was going on?
that was like if they took all the players and didn't allow them to sleep last
Yeah.
night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've all been up for like 48 hours,
More
and
than
now
that,
they've got
more
to
than
play
that.
your
No,
tournament games.
Even more than that, it was like they didn't sleep for like 2 nights. Like, I'm sure some of them could still play pretty good on no night of sleep, but yeah, it was almost like they were really sleep deprived or something. I don't know, but also not. But also not. There were times where they were doing faster reactions than was normal, like the Scourge sniping the dropship. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
Like, the vision range is so low that even though they can, even though it's a low chance to scout the dropship, even if it does scout the dropship, the chance of you selecting the Scourge quick enough to kill it is another matter at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Madness.
True. Madness. Absolute madness. Oh my gosh, I need to lie down. What the hell was that?
Glitches in the Matrix.
Yeah, we're gonna get some really weird comments, I think, this
Yeah.
KCM.
Yeah. hopefully you'll get a lot of channel engagement as a result. Just farming the people enraged at the craziness. Like, what the fuck? How did he? What's going on? Match fixing.
What even is this?
Oh god.
What?
Yeah.
The thing is, I agree with them. I have no idea what's happening.
That's what I mean. It's like it baits any comment and it gives a leg to stand on any way you want to tell the story. You know, anything you come up with would make sense. That was that crazy. Like any conspiracy you want to conjure up would make sense. Kind of wild. Imagine if there was legitimately a second scandal in Starcraft. Imagine it happens again.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine the players got greedy and they couldn't help themselves. Just imagine.
Start match fixing.
Yeah, imagine that shit. Imagine we get a repeat of that and everyone freaks out and we have another crazy storm.
Yikes. Please, no.
It's happened before.
Maybe Sulky gets
little bit
gets
too
tired of
need
not
money.
too need money. Yeah,
he still won.
Too much money.
They still won though. Zerg still won. So you would have to say that if it was match fixing, it'd be match fixing based on individual games, not overall. So that makes sense as well. That could be match fixing if it's based on individual games. Like if it's underground, like black market betting, then that makes sense. So it could be match fixing based on that. Because it's based.
They're betting on some like awkward, like weird tranche or something like that.
They're betting on like what happens between specific players and shit like that.
I can't remember what that's called now. There's like in sports betting apps. I heard about it.
Yeah. It's like rather than betting on who wins the match, you bet on like things that could happen, like this player scores specifically or whatever.
Yeah, and they get like really specific.
Yeah, it can be really specific.
And you might say like Liverpool wins, but this happens and this happens, and you add those extra things it becomes like an insanely big pool if you win.
So you can go from like betting like $5 to winning thousands because it's such a crazy thing to happen because it's like a multiplier. Yeah,
the odds are so against you.
Yeah. There's also another style of betting where you bet to a certain threshold, like this thing happens and then everything that happens after this is a cash out. So it's like, say you bet on a basketball game and you bet for them to score, I don't know, I don't know basketball, but let's say they get like the 30 points or whatever, and every basket after that 30 points is another payout for your cash. So it's like bam, another $3,000, bam, another $3,000 every net after that, once they get to that threshold that you bet on or whatever. There's lots of different styles of gambling and betting.
Well, if someone's doing that in Starcraft, they had some weird bet, and I think that the casino would have a hard time paying that one out. We're like, wait a minute, how the hell did you predict that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? How the hell you turned $500 into $10,000 or something like that with this bet.
Who knows, or dares to dream. I revert back to my previous Alice in Wonderland point about we're crazy for trying to make sense out of it.
Alright. I'm gonna wait on your Audacity recording, and I'm just gonna lay down for a bit, chill out.
You legitimately need to lay down.
I'm actually kind of tired.
Yeah. You gaming pretty hard, man.
Yeah, it's gaming pretty hard, and it's not like a I mean, it's kind of like Starcraft, you know what I mean? It takes a lot out of you to like play a horror game for a long hour.
You're pretty engaged with it. It's not like you're just like autopiloting it.
Yeah, like my palms are sweating almost the whole time, and like,
It's vomit on your sweat already.
oh, there's some fucking nutty shit in that game, man. There's one where you'll be walking around,
Yeah.
and then you'll see a girl, like a young girl, in the dark place, and she's dressed in a little red dress, little girl, and you go, holy shit, what the hell is that? And everybody's like, what? And you go, there's a little girl over there, and they're like, oh, I don't see anything, and only you can see it.
Oh, only you can see it. Oh shit.
And then and that means that you're cursed.
Oh shit.
And so you'll be walking around and you'll hear someone like laughing behind you. And if you turn around and look, the girl is there and she keeps getting closer.
Oh my god, that's some like SCP
and
shit.
There's like a whole bunch of SCP stuff in that. Yes, in that game. So the girl gets closer and closer, and then if you look at her too long, she runs up to you and jumps on you, and your head blows off.
Jeez.
Your head just explodes, yeah.
Damn.
It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's some crazy enemies in that game. I've only seen a few of them, but what I have seen I know is crazy.
Oh god, yeah, it's so nuts. Yeah, it was really... Oh,
I've seen that like baby thing that like transforms into a massive thing, and it's like,
yes,
it looks like a cute little bug thing, and it's like, oh, I can like hold you and take care of you, and then it like suddenly can just instantly transform into this giant thing that fucks you up.
Yeah, it starts crying, and you have to like jiggle it, like, oh, it's okay. But if you don't do it enough,
it eventually transforms. Shit, man. That game is like funny and scary at the same time, which I think is why it's so viral and fun. I think
yes,
anything that's like both a horror game, but like you can kind of see the absurd, funny side to it as well is really good combination.
Yes, yeah, it's like that. And the best part is like watching your friends die.
In funny ways, in all kinds of different ways.
Oh my gosh. So funny. Yeah, falling down holes, or like, getting attacked by a spider, and then the spider attacks them and then wraps them up, and they're like a little like mummy, spider mummy.
Little
cocoon, what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Little cocoon, yeah. Their corpse. Oh, funny. Yeah. It's good.
I'm glad you guys are having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like you're taking a lot out of you. How long did you say you played for?
I don't even remember, but I played till 3 a.m. last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good times.
But like I said, Love Snow was up until fucking 11 a.m., dude. He played all night.
Yeah. Was he wasted, or was he not drinking much, or what was his situation?
I don't think he was drinking too much, just a bit.
Okay. Got to keep an eye on him, because he needs to. He's been easing up on it. If he needs to stay easing up on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's identified the issue. He just needs to stick to it.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. True. Yeah, he said he was gonna go full time into streaming and making content, but he ended up getting a new job because he didn't have enough money to go out and party.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, he partied too hard, man.
Yeah. Oh well.
He's a play hard, party hard kind of guy, though.
Yeah, he lives. He's living his young life. He's only in his 20s.
Yeah. As long as he can transition out of it, it's fine. As long as he can make the transition.
Yeah. And as long as he can... Yeah, as long as he can keep in the black. You know what I mean? As long as he's not like freaking boring money and shit.
Yeah,
He'll
that's
be
the
fine.
thing. As long as he's not spiraling in some way.
Yeah, if you're like, oh, I don't have any money, I can't party tonight, then it's fine. You know what I mean? But if you're like, oh, I don't have any money, let me borrow some from somebody, or borrow some from a bank, or borrow some from a,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like then it gets really dicey. Like you start like buying stuff on credit and stuff, and then you really get in trouble.
Should never be having this. You shouldn't be leisuring on credit. You know what I mean? Like it's understandable if you're buying food on credit or something necessity on credit. Sure, I can kind of see that, and you shouldn't do that too much either. You should be in a situation where you're not relying on credit hardly at all. Right? Should be more of like a emergency type thing, or like need to get a down payment on something or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You should never spend money you don't have, generally speaking.
That's right. That's how you get in trouble.
Yeah. Unless you can guarantee that money coming back to you in some way, then it's bad news bears.
Mm-hmm.
Some people go even crazier. They'll borrow money to invest money in something risky. So they'll like borrow money to put it into something like gambling or to like, you know, crypto coins, as in like scam coins, not like Bitcoin, as in like, you know, fucking Trump coin or something that's going to get rug pulled right away.
Right. That's wild.
Yeah, real wild.
All right, man. I'm gonna rest.
Have a good time. Have a good rest.
Yeah, I'll check back in a few minutes, see if you've got that for me.
Should be.
You got it?
Yeah, just finished.
Okay, cool. I want to get this out before midnight tonight.
Yeah, no worries. I'll get in. It's uploading now. Sure. There you go, bud.
All right, cool.
You have a good one. I'm gonna head off as well.
All right, you too, man. Have a good sleep. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Yeah, and sleeping yet.
Peace.
Peace. Hope you enjoyed the cast, guys. Anyone that's still here. By the way, Post, is your name Tim then? Because I see in brackets Tim. Is this your actual, like, translated name? Or something you call yourself as an alias? Or what's the Tim? Because I know this isn't your birth name, right? Is this some kind of translated name? Or what is this? Just a fun name? I'm not even sure you're still here. I'm going to ask you in DM instead. Anyway, have a nice day or evening or whatever your time zone is, guys. Have a nice weekend, and I'll catch you guys on the flippy flip.